Let's do this. Roll it. Hey everyone, and welcome back to another ranking video. This time we're going to do something a little bit different, but it's not totally different because I've actually done something very similar like this on the channel in the past. And I'm talking, I think maybe 2 years ago, if my memory serves me correctly. I think it was Fairy Designs created some NFL to NHL jerseys, or NFL teams to NHL jerseys, and maybe MLB too. Maybe I've already done a version of this video. I can't quite remember. Anyways, it's on the channel if you'd like to go watch them if you haven't yet. But today we're going to look at a new designer's concepts. He's taken the MLB teams and brought them into NHL jerseys, and I've ranked them, and I think you guys are going to really love some of these. So shout out to Justin for sending these along, and I just I'm so excited to show you some of these, and I know you're going to disagree with some of my choices, but that's okay. That's kind of the fun of it. There's no right or wrong. It's all subjective. So like I said, rank them 1 to 30. Let's go through them 30 to 1, my classic maneuver. Starting at number 30, the Cincinnati Reds. It's not too bad. Like, being last, just the fact that we're seeing something new that's not a current NHL team, but it's in an NHL-style current jersey, automatically it's like, okay, this is new. I could maybe get behind this, but as you'll see as this video moves on, there are just so many amazing jerseys ahead of this one. It doesn't mean there's anything wrong with this one. I just like the other one so much more. So the one on the far right, and feel free, like, if you want to leave your comments down below after the video and tell me your favorites, you know, for this one, like Cincinnati 3, which is the far right one. So you can do that. Feel free. Anyways, the far right one is, I think, maybe a little bit too cartoony on the front. The rest of the jersey, though, I think is pretty fantastic. I love that it's basically all black with some stripes in the background. The other two are probably a bit of a miss for me, though. So I'll tell you my favorites as we go through them of the three. Number 29, I put Arizona. And while I do like the first one, the one on the left, I think my actual favorite here is the one on the far right. Just for the fact that is such an intimidating logo on the front. The snake devouring the ball, or just about to, or the baseball is great. And I prefer that A shoulder logo to be as a shoulder patch on the shoulders. And it's just a very simple, no nonsense jersey. There's not a lot of distracting things on it. It's pretty simple. So the one in the middle is mainly a miss for me just because of the textual font. Number 28 is I put the Philadelphia Phillies. Like the color scheme here, I think that logo in the front of the jersey on number 1, number 2 is the miss for me in those two. But the one on the right, like you guys know, I don't really like textual logos. I complained about it in the previous one that you just saw. I think I like it here, and I think a lot of it has to do as well with the color of the jersey. It's not white, it's the cream, it's the off-white, which is kind of a nostalgic, classic, original kind of feel. So that jersey feels really respectful, I guess, in a way, to the Phillies. So I like that one. That one's my favorite. Number 27, I put the St. Louis Cardinals. I really like the first one. That is 100% my favorite. The middle one I feel is too, I don't know, I think it goes, because of the stripes on the bottom and then that white, and then it goes back to more solid color on the top. I think there's just too much differentiating going on, where the first one is stripes on the bottom and the rest of it is all kind of a solid color. So the first one's my favorite. The one on the far right is a little bold, little in your face. It's pretty saturated. So I would say maybe an even score for that one. But yeah, the first one on the left I like. Number 26, Baltimore. The one on the left and the one in the middle is, I would say, average for me. The one on the right is, I think, fantastic. It's almost a mix of the current Philadelphia Flyers alternate or secondary or third jersey, mixed with like Columbus Blue Jackets, I guess, because of the pinstripe that kind of goes down. So I think this jersey is, I know that I'm repetitive in a lot of these videos because I do so many of them. I say a lot of the same things, but a term I like to use is clean. To me, this is a really good example of a clean, just simple jersey. So I like that one. And it's so difficult to rank these because there's 3 jerseys in for each one. So, and some of them I like 3 of them, and some of them I only like 1, some of them I like 2. So this ranking was actually extremely difficult for me. So don't really pay attention too much to the actual ranking. Just pick your favorites. Number 25, the Twins. The one in the middle is probably my least favorite. The one on the right, I think, is probably my favorite, but it's just, yeah. So I like it just a little bit more than the one on the far left. The one on the far right, I think the gold in that, maybe specifically just for the stripes, if those were white, I think I'd like it a lot more. I think that color kind of loses or blends in a little bit too much with that navy blue and red, but otherwise it's nice. 24, I put the Tampa Bay Rays. This, I mean, full marks for being super bold, super in your face, high color jerseys here. I appreciate the boldness. My least favorite is the one on the far right, the primary yellow one. I think I like the white one the best. I like the way that the sleeves are done. It's pretty cool. There's a lot of colors going on here. There's navy blue, there's light blue, there's white, there's yellow. There's a lot to digest for this one, but I like the boldness. Number 23, I put the Seattle Mariners. The one on the far right is fantastic. The one on the far left is fantastic. Maybe if it was more solid blue without those shoulders, I'd like it a lot more. I like what he's done with the shoulders on the middle one, but yeah, the one on the far right is my absolute favorite. That one's fantastic, even though it is using primarily yellow as a primary color, which is usually a bad thing for me. I think the arms and the shoulders, just the way that's done, is fantastic. Number 22, the Oakland Athletics. The one on the far right is 100% the one I like the most. Again, a yellow as a primary color, so I guess I'm contradicting myself a little bit, but just the way that that's done with the logo in the middle and then the stripes meeting it on the edges and then continuing to the arms. Again, a good example of a clean jersey. I think it's fantastic. If that was something I could buy in real life, I'd probably want to have that in my collection. That's how nice it is. The one in the middle is probably a miss for me, and the one on the far left is, I would say, just average. 21, I put the Chicago White Sox. I think we're approaching very LA Kings here a little bit, specifically just the way that the stripes are done on the arms. My favorite across the board, I actually don't know if I have a favorite. I kind of like them all equally. I don't love any of them, and I don't hate any of them. They're just kind of all across the middle a little bit. So maybe I don't have a favorite here. Number 20, I put San Francisco. The one in the far right, I just don't like. I think the orange logo or font in the middle, it doesn't contrast well with that gray in the background or silver. So that one's a miss entirely for me. But the ones in the just to the left of that, the black and the white one, are really good. I really like the one on the far left. Number 19, the Atlanta Braves. The one on the far right is quite interesting. It's almost Montreal Canadiens, very close to Montreal Canadiens, but it says Atlanta on it, so it's really just kind of working some odd gears in my head here. I'm still trying to process that one, but it's my favorite of all of them. I think just the fact that it's a little bit different. It's not the traditional stripe just straight across. We have just a slight angle, just gives it some life a little bit. The other two aren't too bad. The white one's probably my least favorite. The pattern along the bottom, although it does make sense, I understand it. I think I almost get Christmas vibes a little bit, like ugly sweater Christmas or ugly Christmas sweater vibes. Yeah. Number 18, I put the LA Dodgers, one of my favorite teams. Can't tell. Kind of like the couple ones before. I don't really love any of these, but I don't hate any of them either. They're just kind of even across the board. As far as a favorite, I'd probably choose the one on the far left. But yeah, just kind of like these ones evenly. Number 17, the New York Yankees. I think that it's kind of like the Detroit Red Wings in the NHL. It's a color scheme and a logo that you don't really want to change too much, and I feel like the Yankees are definitely in that category. And I really appreciate the fact that Justin didn't go super crazy here by trying to invent a new logo or whatnot. He kept it really simple on all of the jerseys, well, at least the left and the right one. The one on the left, the darker one, the blue one, it's probably my favorite. I think it's just a really simple, nostalgic, classic design. The one on the far right is simple as well. The one in the middle will probably maybe catch some heat from a lot of people. To me, I appreciate the boldness. I understand the intent behind it. It reminds me a lot of maybe like a referee or something. But I know that I know the decision here, but I don't know. It's one of those ones I need to look at a little bit and decide. Might take some time. Number 16, I put Kansas City. So the one on the far right, I think is just fantastic. Those two shades of blue, I think, really complement each other, and then with that white kind of splitting everything up is pretty good. The one on the far left is still using the same basic color combination, the light blue and the dark blue, but with the light blue as the primary color. I think that's just different. A lot of teams aren't using that intense shade of blue, so I appreciate that. Number 15, but the San Diego Padres. I went back and forth on this one. I had it near the top 10, and then I had it down in the 20s, and ultimately I just kind of decided, you know what, I'm just going to put it in the middle at 15. I can't really decide. The one on the far right I really liked when I first saw it, but then the more I looked at it, I thought, well, the shoulders don't really match the numbers, and they kind of fight for attention a little bit. I think maybe the shoulder patches are a little bit too big. And then I thought, well, I mean, that's a really unique kind of just color combination, the way that the sleeves are done at the bottom. So I don't know. And the one on the far left, those colors together are definitely unique. It looks like different shades of hot chocolate or something. Unique striping along the bottom of one of the arms, which I do like. I would say the one in the middle is a miss for me, though. Number 14, the Boston Red Sox. So the one on the left is, I think, really fantastic. The one in the middle is pretty good as well. As far as white jerseys go, you guys know that I'm not really a huge fan of white jerseys, but that one to me is pretty great. So middle one, great. Left one, great. The one on the right is going to be a miss for me. I don't even know what it is about it that's a miss, but it's just, I don't know, just something's not vibing with me. Number 13, the Anaheim Angels. Fun fact, if you want to know about a fun fact about myself, I had a cousin that used to pitch for the Anaheim Angels. So there you go. You know something a little bit more about me. So these jerseys are pretty decent. I think the one on the far right is my favorite. It's just kind of completely different than the other two. Just something new, something fresh. So yeah, I mean, nothing really negative to say about any of these. I like them. Number 12, the Cleveland Indians. The left one's fine. The middle one's fine. The one on the far right, and I think people will actually disagree with me here, I think that is just outstanding. I think it's so simple. It almost has a college hockey kind of feel to it. There's no white in it, which is not common. Usually, if you're going to have a dark jersey, you have your primary color, you have your secondary color, and then you have your usually white accent color as your third element color. But this, not having white in there kind of really changes things, I think, in a positive way. And it's because of these two colors that work so well together. If it was maybe two different colors with no white, yeah, maybe I'd say that doesn't really work. But to me, that one works. I really like that one. Number 11, the Colorado Rockies. So a really good implementation of some of the graphics that they use put into this jersey. I think this really makes this jersey, or some of these, the first two, the one left in the middle, really stand out from the rest of the jerseys in this list. Now, there are some other ones coming up that are pretty unique, and I'm really excited for you guys to see those. But yeah, I just really like the effort here of uniqueness. The one on the far right would be a miss for me, though. Number 10, I put the Pittsburgh Pirates. And as you guys know, if you're familiar with the channel, this isn't a color scheme that I'm particularly fond of, the gold or yellow and black. However, here, I think it's just fantastic. I like every jersey. The one on the far right is great. The one on the far left is great. The one in the middle is great. Yeah, I just really like it. Still not a fan of that color combination, but looks good here. Number 9, the Toronto Blue Jays, my favorite baseball team. The one on the far right really does feel like a hockey jersey. The one on the left, I almost get Montreal Canadiens vibes a little bit from, so I don't know, I'm still kind of on the fence on that one. But the one on the far right, I really do get the sense of hockey there. And the one in the middle, the Blue Jays have used that shade of blue in some of their jerseys in the past, so that one works for me as well. But the one on the right is definitely the winner for me of these three. Number 8, the Texas Rangers. And I think as a collective whole, these three jerseys really work well together. They complement each other. There's not one that's like super different than all the other ones. Sometimes that works, sometimes it doesn't. But yeah, the great color combination here. And I really have nothing negative to say about that one. Number 7, the Milwaukee Brewers. Again, something just a little bit different, right? You have the texture along the bottom, using some of the graphics that the team currently uses. The logo in the middle is pretty cool. The one on the far right is probably my least favorite of them all, but I really do think just in general, blue and yellow, or gold and yellow, or sorry, gold and blue, always work well together. Number 6, the New York Mets. So the one on the far right with the city skyline on the bottom of the arms, just a really intelligent decision there. I think that's fantastic. Just the implementation of a city in a jersey, in a logo, whatever. I really appreciate that because people love their cities and they want to represent their cities. So the fact that that element is on the jersey, love it, love it. The one on the left is probably my next second favorite, and the one in the middle is third. Number 5, I put the Detroit Tigers. So I might catch some heat for this one as well, but the one on the far right is actually my favorite. I know you could make the argument that it's a little tacky, it's like a little gaudy, it's like, oh my god, are you honestly going to put literal stripes on the arms? But I like the boldness. I think number one, the colors work. That navy and the orange look fantastic together. It's just different. I mean, if you saw that on the ice, you might, it'd catch your eye. It would be easy to see teammates. And the other jerseys here are just average, I'd say. Number 4, I put the Chicago Cubs. I love this color combination. Lots of teams use it, but these are done. The first two are done in a way that it's not busy. It's not in your face. It's respectfully designed. It's aesthetically pleasing. Like there's not things jumping off of it or 50 different stripes at different angles and stuff. The Cubs are obviously a very old team, so you don't really want to reinvent anything here. Just keep it simple, keep it classic, kind of like the Yankees, and I think Justin did a really good job here. Favorite is the one on the far left. I think that's fantastic. One of the favorite jerseys in this entire video. Number 3, I put the Florida Marlins. This really comes down to color combination and just how different it is. So no other team uses this color combination in this video like this. It's so different, right? It's just that first one, that black one. The white one's meh for me. The one on the far right, it's decent. I can get behind it. But the one on the left, just all in black, it's very neon. It's very Miami Vice kind of feel to it. So I really appreciate that. Number 2, I put the Houston Astros. And this is just a piece of work in such a positive way. I mean that with the highest of compliments. The one on the far right, I think we're going to see a 50-50 split here of people who hate it and people who love it. And I freaking love it. I think it's amazing. There are some Toyota Tacoma, 4Runner, and I think there was a van back in the day too that kind of used this color scheme a little bit with a stripe that kind of goes, if I can find a picture, I'll throw it up on the screen, but that's kind of what it reminds me of, and I just love it. I know people are going to hate it and think I'm crazy, but it's so different. It's so in your face. I really like it. And different color laces too on there. Great. And then the other two jerseys, the left one and the middle one, are also just fantastic jerseys. I really have nothing negative to say about them. Number 1, I put the Washington Nationals. The one on the far right, I think, is absolutely perfect. I've seen Washington Capitals concepts very similar to this, and I've absolutely loved them. So that reminded me of those, or this reminded me of those, and I just have to give that one on the right just absolutely full props. I love the stars on the arms. The stripes are great. It's it's just a really well-designed jersey to not really offend anyone. Maybe that last, the Houston Astros jersey back there probably offended quite a bit of people. This Washington one on the right, probably not offending anyone. The one on the left is decent, and the one in the middle is also decent. I like that one, but I'm just a really, really, really big fan of the one on the right, and there's not really anything negative I have to say about any of them. So number 1, I like them across the board, and I love the one on the right. So I had to rank these pretty high. And high as in number 1. So thank you guys for watching. I really appreciate it. Make sure you let me know down in the comments which one that you liked the most, or maybe which team you like the most. You don't have to say a specific jersey, but I always love hearing your feedback and just hearing from you guys. So hope you're having an awesome day. If you are not subscribed, I would love it if you could hit the subscribe button, because I'm making videos like this all the time, ranking stuff, reacting to stuff, and just having fun on designs and logos and stuff. So yeah, hope you guys have an awesome day, and I'll catch you in the next one. Adios.